Hi, how are you? It's Brian Moyers. I'm the chef at BLT Steak. Today we'll be preparing a nice char-grilled bone-in ribeye and a pea green carbonara. So we're going to start here with this nice bone-in ribeye. It's CAB, really nice marbling. I love any meat that's bone-in. It's going to give it a lot more tenderness, juiciness. To prepare your beef, to get a nice crust on it, we start it with some nice unsalted butter, ton of salt, a lot of pepper, and a screaming hot grill. So we're going to start with some nice softened, unsalted butter. Okay, and you're going to be a little surprised on the amount of salt and pepper that I'm putting on. Now we're seasoning so heavy, A, because of the thickness of this meat, and B, because of when you get a hard char on it, a lot of this seasoning is going to cook off. You can see that nice layer. We use butcher's pepper. Nice coarse pepper will give it a nice texture, as well as just a tiny bit of kick after it cooks off. So we're going to start on our grill over here before we put in the broiler. Now we're just going to get some light marks on it, and then we're going to throw it in our broiler, and that's really what's going to give it that nice thick crust and coloration. This is just going to help it color a little faster in there, but we never finish on the grill. This is our 1700 degree char broiler. This is where all the magic happens. You throw your steak in there. If you don't see smoke, it's not hot enough, and that's the same rules apply at home. We're going to take this out about 4 minutes on either side. Get that really nice gnarly char on it. A nice screaming hot broiler. That's our signature touch to all of our steaks. We're just starting to get our nice char on one side. That's the way a steak should look. That's a nice crust. Not too charred, not too burnt that it's going to compromise the flavor of the meat. Now the most important part of meat's resting. After you got your perfect temperature here, we're going to let it rest for about 6 minutes. We'll throw it back in the oven for about 2 minutes to get its heat back, and it should be the perfect rest. When I think of peas, I think of my childhood. I used to hate peas. I didn't really start appreciating peas until I had a great carbonara pasta with an English pea. And when I taste these pea greens, I think of carbonara. Here are all of our ingredients here, and that's the most important thing. I mean, definitely when you're cooking at home also, to have everything right in front of you. Pea tendrils, our cipollini onions, which I roasted off a little bit ahead of time just in a pan. Our smoked bacon, nice thick cut. We also rendered off a little bit of the fat. A little garlic, shallot, chives, crushed red pepper. I have some yolks of a hard-boiled egg, and that's going to play off as the egg in the carbonara. Touch of heavy cream and Parmesan. So get a nice hot pan on the fire. Start with a little bit of olive oil. Nice double smoked bacon. Definitely want to get your bacon in there first. You really want all that smoke and the sugars and the salt of that bacon to permeate through the whole dish. And so we'll crisp up the bacon. A little bit of your crushed red pepper. You don't need too much, just a tiny bit. A little bit of spice. Throw in a little bit of the cipollini onions. Small amount of garlic, shallots, and then our pea greens, which you can actually cut ahead of time. I prefer to kind of tear it up to order. Throw that in there. Give it a quick toss. You really don't need to cook it too long. They're already extremely tender. They're pea tenders. A little bit of salt and pepper. We definitely don't want to overcook these, so still want to get a little bit of that crunch in there. Just a touch of cream. Maybe about 1 tablespoon or so. Okay. Now to assemble it, we're just gonna get right in the middle here. All right, now this is the most important part. We're going to put a little bit of egg. Grate that over there. And of course, carbonara just isn't the same without a lot of Parmesan. Tiny bit of black pepper again to finish. Chives. And that's your pea vine carbonara. Okay, our side dishes are now ready. Now it's time to meat it with the steak. Steak's been rested, perfect 6 minutes. After resting, it should already be really nice and warm in the middle, but we want the outside really screaming hot. So I think that's probably a perfect medium rare. A little maitre d' butter, little thyme, bone marrow. Can't beat it. That's our bone-in 22-ounce ribeye.